Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome back to Retro Select, a series of quick looks at retro games I feel like playing. Today's game is Soldierblade, which was a 1992 release from Hudson Soft for PC Engine. It's the fourth entry in the Star Soldier series, but its development was very rushed because Hudson wanted to use it in their Caravan video game tournament. There was also some miscommunication between the director Uriko Uribo and his staff, which meant that some mechanics ended up being a bit wrong, basically. So there were some enemies that were supposed to be very strong ended up being very weak, and vice versa. At the time of its original release, its rushed development made some people feel that it was inferior to its predecessors Blazing Lasers and Final Soldier, but in more recent years it's become regarded as one of the PC Engine's best shooters. It's certainly one of my favourites as well. It's also very accessible. So if you're new to shoot 'em ups, this is a great one to get started with because it's got easy to understand mechanics, it's not too horrendously difficult, and it's just really fun. So let's go play Soldierblade.
Okay, here we are with Soldierblade for the PC Engine. Playing this on the PC Engine Mini rather than original hardware because I don't have an original PC Engine, and the PC Engine Mini is a rather lovely piece of kit. Anyway, it's got a very nice controller. It's got a bunch of great games that run brilliantly, and I love it to pieces. And Soldierblade is one of those games that I really, really love as well. It's one of several absolutely excellent shoot 'em ups that are on this console. And as I say, if you're a relative shoot 'em up newbie, or if you're not very good at shoot 'em ups, then Soldierblade is a great one to kind of get involved and get a feel for what to expect from certain things, because it's not too difficult. It's got some challenge, but it's not horrendously difficult. So let's have a go. The normal game, here we go. It also has absolutely fantastic music, so that is unbelievably important for shoot 'em ups. Also, if you've not come across a PC Engine controller before, it has turbo fire switches for its fire buttons, which is wonderful. That's normally only something you'd get on third-party controllers on other consoles, but they were built right in to the PC Engine's controllers. Because they knew what kind of experiences were going to be available on that console, and they catered to them perfectly. So, as you can see, this is a fairly sort of Raiden-esque shoot 'em up. We have three different possible weapons that you can use. There's the red one, which is bullet-based. There's the blue one, which is the powerful laser, which is what we got here. And there's also a green one, which is sort of wave beams. And one of the interesting things in Soldierblade is how those weapons also act as sort of defences as well. So what happens is when you get hit, you will lose a level of weapon until you get down to your lowest power level, at which point you will then get destroyed. But also, your levels of weapons can be used as bombs as well. So you see down in the lower right corner, it indicates what level our weapon is. But you can also expend those as bombs as well. So probably don't need to do against this boss, but for the sake of demonstration, I will do it. So if I hit the 1 button, I use one level of the blue laser as a bomb. And if you pick up another level of the weapon you've got when you're already full up on it or already maxed out on it, then it acts as like an automatic bomb, clearing enemies off the screen. So that can be quite a helpful thing to do as well at times. But mostly, the reason this is a good shoot 'em up to kind of learn the ropes with is because it's just a sort of great example of all the things you spend most of your time doing when you play shoot 'em ups. It's about learning enemy attack patterns, it's about learning to dodge things, it's about learning to recognize when you need to dodge and when you need to fight. And to a lesser extent, it's about maximising your score. It's not as much about score as, like, say, a cave shoot 'em up or something like that, but that's fine. In this, your score is just simply a reflection of how long you've managed to survive. Rather than your mastery over some obscure and obtuse mechanics. But that's fine. Anyway, there are a number of interesting little mechanics in this. Most notably is the ability to pick up gold lives. I forget the exact circumstances under which they show up, but sometimes you'll notice that your lives meter in the bottom right corner of the screen turns gold. And what that means is rather than being sent back to a checkpoint in the stage like normally happens, you can actually respawn exactly where you leave off. So that's not sort of standard behaviour in this. That's not something you can take for granted in this, but it is something you can unlock the ability to do. And if I remember correctly, there's one of the bosses on this first stage where if you deliberately ignore them, if you deliberately refuse to fight them, and just let them stick around until their sort of hidden timer expires, then you will get like 10 of these golden lives added to your stock automatically. So that's a handy little trick to learn. But I can't remember which boss it is, so I didn't do it there. But anyway, this game's pretty generous with the extra lives anyway, so... Right, on to stage 2. Sticking with this blue laser for now, because it is the most powerful, it covers most of the screen. It is arguably the best weapon. Whoops, but I've just lost a level of it. And then I accidentally picked up a red one, so... well. What are you gonna do? Another extra life there. There's a blue laser. Just need another one to get that back up to full level. When you pick up a different colour weapon to what you've already got, it doesn't upgrade the level, it just switches to that other weapon. You have to pick up the same colour weapon as the one you've currently got in order to actually buff it up to the next level. So now we're maxed out on blue laser again. So everything is fine. Everything is happy. This level's music. It's so happy and cheerful. Just a perfect example of what shoot-'em-up music should be, so far as I'm concerned. Shoot-'em-up music should make you feel badass, it should feel triumphant, it should feel exciting. And this game really nails that with some really memorable themes throughout. Whoops! I don't want the green one, give me the blue one. Blue one? Anyone? Blue one? Blue one. No, that's the red one. Well, I'll go with underpowered blue laser. Oh dear, definitely underpowered blue laser. Let's do a bit of bombing. Blue laser! Just need one more to get that back up to full. The eternal struggle. Keeping your weapon at full power. I love the PC Engine. It's a console that I was sort of fascinated with back in the day because I remember always reading about it in ACE magazine, Advanced Computer Entertainment. But because it wasn't an especially well-known console here in the UK. If I remember correctly, there was some sort of very small-scale European release of the PC Engine, but it was not a very well-known one at all. It was one that you very much had to import to get the best out of. Oops. Well, here's the green weapon. Yeah, pretty much my sole contact with it was seeing it in magazines, and I was always fascinated with it, and I always wanted to have a go with one, but I never had the opportunity. Oh! Upsetting. Oh no. We're down to shitty bullets. Yeah, so finally being able to sort of rediscover this or discover it for myself with the PC Engine Mini. I guess I could have done it sooner with emulation and so on, but I was most happy about the PC Engine Mini because it was like sort of my first opportunity to do something that felt authentic with the PC Engine. I love emulation, don't get me wrong, but there's just something about having an object in an actual box with the right controllers and all that sort of thing that just makes it feel a lot more special than just booting up an emulator or double clicking on something in Launchbox or whatever. And for me, that's where stuff like the Evercade shines as well, because although the Evercade is not the original platform that the games on it came out for, it still bollocks. It still has that feeling of. It still has that feeling of cracking open an original box of something, of playing an official release, and all that kind of thing. That was some terrible performance on that boss. I can only apologise. I'm going to continue because I'm enjoying myself. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, the PC Engine Mini is probably the closest I'm ever going to get to actually playing on a real PC Engine, outside of friends who already own one. It's going to be the closest I get to owning my own one, let's put it that way. Because I feel like, as a lot of retro stuff has gone up in price considerably over the last few years, PC Engine is one of those platforms that has become prohibitively expensive. And it's just not as much fun if you have to sort of consider taking out second mortgages on your house just to get some of the platform's best games. It's not as much fun. That's just me anyway. I know some people love the thrill of the chase and of finding super valuable stuff and paying through the nose for them, but you know, I just like good games. I like good games. I like playing good games. I like having access to good games, and I like other people having access to good games as well. I like being able to share these good games with other people. So I love having the opportunity to bust out this copy of Soldierblade and challenge my friends to a go on the Caravan Mode, for example, which we will definitely have a look at before we finish today, because I really enjoy the Caravan Mode in this. Bullets. Right, we're in a slightly better position than last time, I think. You have some lasers. That's it. You get out of here. There we are. Maxed out blue lasers. Now I'm in my happy place again. But yeah, what I was saying before about loving the PC Engine, one of the things I've really come to love about it since being able to experience it for myself is that sort of really curious place it occupies in terms of its technology. So, I mean, technically, it's an 8-bit system. But in terms of its visuals and how slick it can move things around the screen and its sounds and all that sort of thing, it feels like a 16-bit machine. But games like this are a good example of how distinctive it is, because games like this have this sort of really nice combination of crunchy samples and sort of simple synthesized sounds. So you hear those large enemies are sort of being blown away with those awesome explosion sounds. But then smaller enemies just sort of go boom, like with a sound that you'd hear on a Commodore 64 or an Atari 8-bit. And I love that both of those things are a thing on the PC Engine. I don't want the red ones. Oh, I should have picked up the red ones, clearly. Because now I've got shitty lasers. Alright, let's not make a complete hash of this one this time. Alright, so he's going to fire those. There we go. And he's going to fire a bunch of missiles. And he's going to fire the annoying missiles, which we can avoid. Then we get back in there and get hit by those. That's good too. And up here, avoid the homing missiles. Avoid those annoying missiles. Avoid those annoying missiles. Oh no! This is not going well. I'm normally much better at this game. I promise, I really am. Continue. I'm not standing for this nonsense. Right, give me that. What? That was unfortunate. Give me that. Not holding out a ton of hope for this run, to be honest. What with that death from behind that we just suffered. But, you know, sometimes you can surprise yourself. Need to get back to Blue Laser Happy Place, if you please. Right, you get out of here. Next one, wait for the bullets. Avoid the bullets. And there's no bullets. There are sometimes bullets. I'll take the green thing for a change. Because why not? Nice thing about the green one is it does have quite a wide spread even at relatively low power levels, so it is quite good for clearing screens. Don't want the red one. The red gun is for losers. Everyone knows this. Oh! Bollocks. I'm evidently just not on top of my game today. I have been recording videos all day in my defense, so I'm probably a little bit tired. But hopefully, despite my own ineptitude, hopefully you can see the appeal of this game and why it's so much fun, why it's such a well-regarded, not just shoot 'em up, but game in the PC Engine's library. If you want to get into the PC Engine, this is a game you should be playing, in other words. Try not to die. I do like the variation in bombs in this is really cool. It's like the way that each of the coloured weapons operates as a very different kind of bomb. And I don't think any of them are a straight screen clearer. The only way you get a screen clearing bomb is picking up the like the same colour weapon that you've got when it's already at max level. Alright, we've got max level red guns. Red guns are for losers, admittedly, but, you know, max level anything is better than a shitty level 1 something. So, let's do... I do like the bomb for this one, which just sort of clings onto something until it blows up. Which is a lot of fun. Annoying horizontal bombs. I'll give that another bomb. You can cling onto that while I worry about missiles. There goes a level of weapon. The one nice thing about the red gun is that it does fire backwards, which is very helpful. And so when you've got stuff like homing missiles coming from behind you, it's very useful for that sort of thing. Alright, nearly there. Nearly there. Nearly there. There we go. And an extra life for our troubles. Right. See? Told you I could do it. I don't think I've finished this. Certainly not on 1 credit. But I don't think I've even finished it with continues. I think normally... I shouldn't feel this way, but I find myself feeling a little bit bad when I continue in a shoot 'em up. I feel like I should be aiming for that 1 credit clear, even though my skills clearly aren't up to that. When really I should be thinking about, well, I should just be enjoying the experience for now, building up some experience with all of the levels. And just enjoying it, and then once I feel confident with all of those levels, that's when I can start deliberately limiting myself to 1 credit clears and so on. Because in this, it's not as if you're even brute forcing your way through the game if you continue. Because when you continue, it sends you back to the start of the stage you were on. So you've still got to get through that stage. You can't use it to cheese your way through a boss that you can't do. So I should really get myself out of that mindset. It's something that I've kind of struggled with ever since kind of widespread arcade emulation has been a thing. Because I grew up with console and home computer ports of arcade games, which would inevitably restrict the number of continues that you had, and in some cases not even allow you to continue at all. And because of that, I've always sort of held the opinion that, like, you should limit yourself somewhat to how much you allow yourself to play in one go, because otherwise you're not sort of getting better at the game. And again, I know that's not true. I know that's stupid, but that is my thought process. Well, that was a waste, wasn't it? Oh dear. Right, you need to shoot him up his ass while he's letting tanks out, if I remember correctly. Oh dear me, this is going badly. Right. Blown his arsehole wide open. No, I've killed myself. Curses. Right. We've been going like 24 minutes. So rather than making you endure that any longer than necessary, I'm going to switch over to the Caravan Mode. Soldierblade challenge stage. So there's two ways to play this. You can play for 5 minutes or 2 minutes. And your sole aim is simply to score as many points as possible. I believe you have infinite lives. So you just play for score. And rather than just playing through the initial stages of the game, it's got unique stages for the Caravan Mode. There's also some slightly different mechanics. So you'll notice that when you pick up the weapons, you don't get the bomb markers in the corner. And also the weapons don't work with the little drone that's circling your ship. So you just upgrade your weapons. But it does still have the mechanic where you lose a level of your weapon when you get hit. Oops. And what you want to try and do in these caravan stages as you move along is there will be sort of mini bosses along the way, and to get the biggest score bonuses you need to defeat the mini bosses as quickly as you possibly can. So like that sort of caterpillar thing we just saw, the faster you kill that, the more bonus points you will get. I also have a feeling that the red weapon is the only weapon in Caravan Mode as well. And all your favourite bosses will put in an appearance every so often. And again, the quicker you deal with them, the more bonus points you'll get. But you see, when we get to this boss, there's only like 15 seconds left in the 2-minute game anyway, so it is probably the last thing you will face. But you'll still get a bonus if you kill it. Or a bunch of points anyway. It's like 100,000 points for killing a boss, I think. Time's up! Okay, so there's your score and the high score, and it saves those, which is really nice. You don't have to faff around with save states because it actually saves your scores. So I'll pop my name in. There we go. And let's have a quick go at the 5-minute one as well. So the 5-minute one is the same stage, it just goes on for a bit longer. So you'll encounter all the same enemies and formations and encounters and that sort of thing. It just carries on for a bit longer. Again, take your time, learn the enemies, learn the formations. Learn what are the most valuable enemies score-wise. Because score is actually a lot more important in Caravan Mode. Rather than in the main game mode, which is all about survival. See, 20,000 points there because we killed that thing so quickly. Which is very nice indeed. Oops. Not even paying attention. You again. We've talked about this. So you notice none of the enemies are particularly dangerous in this. It's just all about dealing with them. You do have a stock of lives, as you can see in the corner. I was wrong. It's not infinite lives, but... yeah, none of the enemies are especially dangerous. You're more likely to just lose a level of your weapon than you are to actually die. But at the same time, losing a level of your weapon will reduce your scoring potential. So... £10,000 points for that thing. If I'd hit all of the smaller versions of it before it went off the screen, I would have got 20,000 for that. But that's quite tricky to do, as you can probably tell from how quickly that encounter moves. I believe you might get points for picking up the power-ups as well. I think. Hard to tell. Anyway, there's no reason not to, because you can't pick up the wrong weapon in this one because there's only the red weapon, so... Another one of these bad boys. Again, 20,000 points for a quick kill. Lots of extra lives. So the caravan modes, if you're not familiar, because this wasn't a term that I was super familiar with until quite recently. Hudson Soft, and I believe possibly some other companies as well, used to do like sort of almost travelling roadshows, I guess, where they would do tournaments on games like Soldierblade and that sort of thing, and the special game modes that were developed to be played at these tournaments became known as caravan modes. And so you'll often find in ports of games from this period onto modern platforms, like the Hamster's Neo Geo ports are a good example. A lot of them tend to have caravan modes in them as well that are sort of eminently suitable for competitive play. Whoops! First life lost, second life lost. And time up. Right, well, that's a better score than I've had previously. Congratulations on your high score! Oh, that's pretty close to my previous high score, but I will take it. Anyway, that is Soldierblade, one of the finest shoot-em-ups possibly of all time, certainly on the PC Engine. I love this game, and you should too. So play it if you get the chance, which you should, because you know you can get it in all sorts of places, whether it's on a real PC Engine or a PC Engine Mini or just emulating it. Anyway, let's leave that there for today. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.